Right, let's talk about some things that WWE 2K22 need to add to MyGM mode, because it's a little thin, to be honest, isn't it? It's a fantastic game mode. We've all enjoyed it, but it is a little thin. Let's start off with the first one. Match types. I mean, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? But we can only do singles. We can only do tag team matches. What's that about? We need the addition of other match types in MyGM mode. We've got them in universe mode. We've got them in other modes, obviously, across the game. It's not like they can't fathom how to do it. And to be honest, 9 times out of 10, people aren't playing these matches. They're simulating them. So it doesn't really matter, does it? Why can't we get triple threat matches? Why can't we get fatal fours? And in fact, why can't we even get handicap matches? I remember back when I used to play SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, I used to utilize handicap matches all the time to increase popularity. Obviously it was kind of like game breaking in the fact that I was manipulating the game so that I can raise popularity of terrible wrestlers, but I was doing that using the handicap method, and it was working really well, and it made my enjoyment of the game a lot better. I think it's quite obvious that people are wanting to see more rather than just, of course, the tag team and the singles. We would love to do like tornado tags with 6-man tags, for instance. Obviously, we need to have a bigger roster, but 9 times out of 10, you cater to the roster that you need. That's the reason why we all have really small rosters. We only need them for singles and tag matches. We're not asking to have 20 people in the roster because we don't necessarily need it. And surely that's just an easy match fix, right? That's just an easy patch that can be laid out. Just a quick switch across and it's just there. I mean, it just seems too easy to do. It seems too easy not to do. And that goes alongside with just the fact that you can only have a singles match, tables match, Extreme Rules, TLC, and Hell in a Cell. Why can't we have ladder matches? Why can't we have Money in the Bank matches if we're going to go throughout the whole year having Money in the Bank and we have the interference method, have a cash-in method. Why can't we have a Money in the Bank ladder match, and that obviously leads to an interference for a cash-in later on down the line? It just seems like it's way too thinned out, and the fact that you can only have tables, Extreme Rules, TLC, and Hell in a Cell just seems ridiculous, especially when there are WWE pay-per-views named Elimination Chamber, and yet you can't even get one. If they could get it done in SmackDown vs. Raw all the way back then in 2007 and 8, where you can literally enter 6 people to have an Elimination Chamber, surely in 2022, it is so easy to do. 15 years later, and yet I feel like in some ways, we've stepped back in MyGM mode. I just want to quickly say thank you everybody who's been checking out the videos on this channel recently. The WWE 2K content was something I never thought I'd get myself into, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Thank you to all the new viewers, and thank you to everybody who's subscribed so far. But if you haven't done so, and you haven't turned that button red into grey by subscribing, please do so, because next week we're going to do a long series on MyGM, doing For the Longevity, the 50 weeks program across 5 episodes. So if you can subscribe, I would really do appreciate it. Second on my list is Rivalries. Rivalries, for me, they're a little bit broken. I think even in my videos, you hear me say quite often, I don't understand how this game works. I don't understand the mechanics of this game. I get that sometimes you will do something in a rivalry and it won't take the rivalry to the next level, because that obviously happens wrestling in real life. However, like sometimes you'll put somebody in a random match and they'll get a rivalry straight away, and then you'll do a call out. So they're actually calling out a wrestler through a promo, and that won't start a rivalry. And it's things like that that I don't understand. I think call out should guarantee starting a rivalry. And I think if there's only a level 1 rivalry on somebody else, it should override that new rivalry. It should be the player's mistake if they decide to do another rivalry that it wipes the other one. But then there's obviously times in real wrestling where people have more than one rivalries. We've seen that time and time again. Me, myself, for Reach Wrestling, I've had more than one rivalry going on at the same time. I have 2 rivalries going on right now. I'm facing both of them in a tag match, but I am going to face them both singularly, and I still have rivalries that have yet to finish. They still have a long-term story planning. You see AEW do it time and time again. Why can't we have more than one singles rivalries? Tag rivalries, I get, that can be complicated. But still, if you're in a tag team rivalry, even at WrestleMania, there's a triple threat tag team. That means there's 3 teams in this rivalry, right? So surely, that would mean that there's more than one rivalry. Again, I think it's an easy fix. I really do think it's an easy fix that they should be able to do. I understand that 2K have put this game mode out for the very first time, and maybe they put back a very stripped back reason, or a very stripped back version to try and gauge the water. What is people's thinkings? What would people like to see? And maybe they didn't have enough time because of how much they had to change from the previous game, and they decided, we'll do this game mode, but we'll strip it back a lot, and we can build on that. If that's the case, perfect. I really hope you're listening, because there's so many ideas that myself and other creators, and obviously other players, have that you could implement into this game. And rivalries, I definitely think, need to be worked on. They're so fickle, I don't know. Sometimes I really do feel like the rivalries, they're no guarantee, and I understand the 1 to level 4 thing. I'm happy with that. I think that's a very good structure of having it. The payoff at a pay-per-view, it's annoying. That's another thing. It's very annoying. Maybe have it so you have the option to pay off the rivalry during a SmackDown, during a Raw and NXT or NXT UK, because that happens in wrestling as well. If a rivalry isn't building to a pay-per-view, WWE will call it off for there and then. Bang, I don't want to do this rivalry anymore. It ends today on SmackDown. There should be an option for a payoff. I really do think it's just a quick switch, a click across, rivalry payoff today, yes. Easy as that. I think that could easily be implemented into the game, and it would be welcomed as well. By the way, if there's any other things that you'd like to add to this list of my 5, then honestly, let me know down in the comments section. I'd love to hear your ideas. My third one is popularity, because the popularity determines how well the match is received in regards to the star rating, right? If you have a 5-star match, it's very rarely with like a jobber who has really low popularity. However, that was never the case in actual wrestling, that you put on a 5-star match just because you're really popular. In fact, quite the contrary, a lot of fantastically popular wrestlers who are not that good in the ring don't seem to have 5-star matches. I mean, Hulk Hogan, I dare say, has never had a 4-star match. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't ever read the newsletter. I don't know whether Dave Meltzer's ever give Hulk Hogan a 4-star match. I'm pretty sure he hasn't given him a 5-star match. Ultimate Warrior, another one. Incredibly popular. Pretty sure he's never had a 5-star match. Pretty sure he's never had a legendary match. Popularity-wise, WrestleManias, the atmosphere, etc., yes. But are we determining this 5-star match on popularity and feel-good factor, or are we determining it on match quality? Because when you're playing the game, you get a 5-star match for match quality, but when you're doing the MyGM mode, you get a 5-star match because you've reached all the things. The rivalry's hot, they're obviously in a Hell in a Cell, and you got 2 really popular wrestlers. What are we quantifying as a 5-star match? Because personally, I'd like to do it on ability. Every wrestler has an ability in the game. It's always inputted into the game because, of course, Universe mode, you can see Brock Lesnar 95, for instance, whatever it is. Why can't we see that attribute in there, and that also contributes to a 5-star match? Because another extra thing, the game can be quite easy. If you know how to play it, it can be quite easily. So, having that addition of, you can't get a 5-star match with somebody who's rated 70, no matter how popular they are, because they're never going to produce that 5-star match. But if you have the addition of the ability, so the wrestler's actually quite good, and then you've built his popularity, then he has a 5-star match, it's harder to get 5-star matches, that would be much more rewarding. I think that needs to be a good addition onto the game. My fourth one, I mean, I said because this game is quite easy in hard mode. Hard mode's easy. It really is easy. The AI, they make terrible decisions. I don't understand why the AI makes decisions like they do. Surely, when Universe mode, you can make it so... I mean, the AI in Universe mode makes some decent decisions. You tend to see the best wrestlers in the main events. You tend to see them winning the championships 9 times out of 10. But in GM mode, I mean, the amount of times Akira Tozawa has been champion, the amount of times Tucker has been champion, why is that happening? Why? Why is the AI making silly decisions? Especially on hard mode. Easy mode, yeah, make it that easy. But on hard mode? No. Come on. Come on, that's got to be done. You've got to have a way of selecting hard mode and it actually being difficult because the AI are making great decisions. They do seem to get still really good star ratings, don't get me wrong, but then it doesn't make sense. So it's kind of contradicting itself. But if they've actually drafted Randy Orton and John Cena and they've built up a great rivalry that you can see watching their shows every single week, call-outs, matches, interferences, and then they have a 5-star match at an event, then yeah, that should be how it's done. Not Akira Tozawa facing John Cena and Akira Tozawa winning, Cameron Grimes winning the Universal Championship. Oh yeah, he's a great wrestler. But popularity-wise, it makes no sense because you're basing it on popularity from point number 3. So for me, the AI needs a rework. And finally, is another obvious one, but titles. Why do we only have 2 titles? Why do we have the ability to have a tag team, but no titles? Why can't we have the option to select a 5-match week matches instead of just the 3 on a SmackDown or a Raw? We get it. It's not like they couldn't do it. They do it for pay-per-views. So we're expected to build these rivalries, to have 5 rivalries, when we can only have 3 matches on a week-by-week basis. It does encourage you to use the promos. I get it. But it still makes no sense. And for me, I really do feel like having the Intercontinental belt, having the tag team titles would make a great addition to this. There's so many more challenges you can do from having this, and obviously a little bit more fun. What are the tag teams going for in this? And maybe have it on Universe mode where you can see selected what the tag teams are. Have that in MyGM mode. You've literally got the menu in another mode. Why can't you put it in there and have it selected? And when they come to you and make these ridiculous requests of, oh, I want a tag team with the jobber who you've hired for 3 weeks, why can it then, if you accept it, it pops up on new tag teams saying they're a new tag team? Surely that's quite easy to do as well. Again, I understand that the mode might be very stripped back for obvious reasons to them, but let us know. Let us know. Make it sound like, right, we're giving you a very stripped back version of this game mode. But there are going to be DLCs, there's going to be patches which we're going to listen to what you guys want added, and we're going to add it throughout the year. Because right now, it seems like after a month or 2, this game mode will just become so stale and so easy that it will just, everybody will forget about it. Whereas this game mode, I was still playing on SmackDown vs. Raw in like 2015, 2017. Every couple of years, I'd go back and play this game mode again on SmackDown vs. Raw, the MyGM mode. Whereas on this, yeah, it looks fantastic. The menus, the sounds, it looks great. But longevity of how to play it, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comment section. Please smash a like if you can. And of course, subscribe because we have new series and new challenges coming out on this channel. Thank you very much. My name is Mega Luke. See you soon. Bye-bye.